in a newsletter quotes Hitler. I stand with that mom.
Oh, funny that. I mean, I didn't know it was going to come full circle, but that's what I've been talking about this the whole time. It's kind of up that you would put quotes of Hitler in the newsletter, and then unless you thought, again, he had any value whatsoever for society to be able to kind of deify him like that. But you stand with the mom, eh? Just out and proud. Interesting. All right, there's a new Media Matters video going undercover at Mums for Liberty, which I'm very, very excited about. Trolling Mums for Liberty is praxis that I am here for.
I went undercover at a Moms for Liberty conference, and I want to tell you about it.
How are the children? They're not well.
Not well, bitch.
My name's Olivia, and I've been researching Moms for Liberty since early 2021. And at this point, you've probably heard about Moms for Liberty. They're the right-wing group of parents who are strategically harassing public school teachers for talking about things like LGBTQ issues.
The book Genderqueer was in our school libraries. Had Moms for Liberty not brought that book to your attention, it might still be there.
Or racism.
Parents, beware of terms like social justice, diversity, equity, inclusion.
Diversity. Goddamn snowflakes, are you kidding me? Oh no. Fucking, why do you always get this shit from like master race types too? So just recently Jack Pacific put this: white people are the only ones who are supposed to hate their own race in order to be considered good people. Whiteness is the only culture identified by those outside it and not those who are a part of it. And white culture is the only one where hatred of it is considered a virtue. Yes, yes, white folk, we must all be as guilty as possible simultaneously at all times. Only then can we be virtuous. We must be ashamed at all times of our creamy mayonnaise skin. It's the only way, the only path forward. No. See, instead of being proud to be Polish, as Jack Pacific is, or if someone says that they're proud to be Irish, as someone who is Irish could say, you want to erase that. You're literally erasing people's heritage and culture to be part of this group that defines itself by being, again, racially superior to other groups. That's why it's fucking cringe as fuck. And like, if you're like, well, Jack Pacific isn't an actual white supremacist. Okay, how about Exhibit A? I show you. Yes, that's Richard Spencer, the Richard Spencer. How about Exhibit fucking B? Oh, what's this? A lot of use of the term 1488. What's this? For every 14 days spent, 88 hours at least. It's amazing for your body and spirit. New York Times, page 1488. Military leaders endorse Trump. I just tried to make a video that's 14 minutes and 88 seconds long. It won't get blocked. 1488, Hillary equals diversity equals white genocide. All right, fine. Not enough? Exhibit C. The ADL National would be wise to remember what happened last time people made lists of undesirables, he says, in Auschwitz. So, long story short, fuck Jack Pacific. And also, by the way, that's why you'll have types like Mums for Liberty do things like have newsletters where they email out to other members of Mums for Liberty that have quotes of Hitler on them. And then people are like, why are you quoting Hitler? So, oopsie. Well, yeah, okay. It's not because we actually admire Hitler or his teachings or anything. It's just, it's a good quote, right? So why not just put up a good quote? Do we even need to basically attribute it? Could we just have it be there in and of itself in the corner somewhere?
Most recently, they got in trouble for quoting Adolf Hitler.
He alone who owns the youth gains the future. That is a Hitler quote.
You're likely getting mixed messages about what Moms for Liberty actually stands for. Are they a group of concerned parents?
Moms for Liberty is a parent activist group.
Are they a hate group?
They recently received an extremist group designation from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
And they're also, like Higher Right Check, deeply, deeply unaware of the very things they hate. If you watch the 60 Minutes interview with the two Moms for Liberty moms, once again, classic case of like, so can you explain a little bit about your deeply held beliefs and why you have them? And it's just like, blah. And you're like, oh shit, okay, yeah. So you're deeply, like, you know, hate-filled bigots with a lot of ire and malice in your hearts, looking to make kids' lives scarier and really frighten children, you know? But for what? You're not entirely sure, because you think those people are icky. Yeah, the gays are icky to me. I don't understand them. It doesn't make sense. How can men in their late 40s have bodies like that? It doesn't make any sense. Have they not too been ravaged by time? How do they dress so well? Why are they so well groomed and manicured, and they use conditioner, not a 3-for-1. No 3-for-1s. And they drink Chardonnay. No, this has to be stopped. We have to put an end to this now. It's too much.
I wanted to find out for myself, so I went undercover with my colleague, Madeline Peltz, to see what they were saying behind closed doors at their summit in Philly. But before we talk about the summit, we've got to talk about the Moms for Liberty origin story. So the story Moms for Liberty tells is of two former disenfranchised Florida school board members, Tiffany Justice, and yes, that is her real name, and Tina Descovich, who band together in 2020.
And then they're the ones that were interviewed by 60 Minutes who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. It's great. It's one thing for, like, you know, obviously a whole bunch of, like, you know, far right fascist types to just fail upwards, and then you're just kind of blown away at how someone who is so deeply unlikable, like Aya Rychek, for example, how does she get the enormous amount of power she has? She wouldn't be able to do that in a lot of other venues. Most people, I mean, she'd be laughed out of the room. But then you have individuals who have risen to the ranks and become all powerful, and then they still feel that they're prepared to speak to the media. And at that point, it's wonderful, because then, you know, once the camera's put in front of their face, you realize that, yeah, there's nothing beyond the hatred. You know, you've turned hating people into a personality. That's your entire ethos.
To stand up for parental rights and fight those that stand in the way of liberty. Just two moms facing off against the ambiguous evils of public education.
Never bet against a mom. I mean, nobody's going to defend anything like a mom is going to defend their child.
Here's what they conveniently leave out. Tina actually lost her school board election after opposing teacher raises and mask mandates. Tiffany didn't run for re-election at all, which isn't surprising given the fact that she's a real-life school board villain who made frequent inappropriate outbursts at school board meetings, was almost banned from her child's elementary school because her conduct was so disruptive and disrespectful. She intimidated her district's African-American Achievement Committee, earning criticism from the NAACP, and she opposed.
But wait, did she speak to the manager? She should have spoken to I bet if she spoke to the manager, she could have sorted that whole mess out.
Her district's busing efforts that were attempting to comply with the 1967 desegregation order, and her rationale was busing more students would be costly and create discomfort among some parents. They are not disenfranchised moms. They are failed school board members who either lost or were going to lose their election. But there's a twist, because Moms for Liberty actually has a third co-founder, Bridget Ziegler. And we say Bridget is a co-founder because she's listed as a director on the group's incorporation documents. Tina also named Bridget as a co-founder in her first Facebook post promoting Moms for Liberty. So why wipe Bridget from the story? Because this is Christian Ziegler, Bridget's husband, who served on Donald Trump's campaign in 2016 and later served as chairman of Florida's Republican Party.
Who is excited to hear from President Trump today?
Moms for Liberty wants you to believe that it's this grassroots group of concerned parents, but it's actually a GOP AstroTurf group designed to scare women into voting Republican and gutting public education. But don't take it from me, take it from Christian Ziegler himself, who said, "I've been trying for a dozen years to get 20 and 30-year-old females involved with the Republican Party, and it was a heavy lift to get that demographic, but now Moms for Liberty has done it for me." The Washington Post reported that Ziegler expected Moms for Liberty members to be foot soldiers for Governor Ron DeSantis' re-election campaign. And you can see how Moms for Liberty really relied on this like GOP propaganda machine to start getting attention in the first place. Right-wing media quickly embraced the group and basically recruited for Tiffany and Tina.
You are out there on the front lines and you are fighting this fight.
They started appearing on Steve Bannon's War Room over and over again.
Guys, you're rock stars. Honored to have you here in the War Room.
How did that help with getting women involved in the whole project, though? Because I don't imagine a lot of women watch Steve Bannon, first off, and just like human beings, just I think naturally are going to be viscerally like recoiling upon first encountering this man, right? Like he's deeply troubling to have to gaze upon for any prolonged period of time.
Honored to have you on here. Look forward to having you back.
The group was also promoted by Glenn Beck.
Hey, Glenn, it's Tina.
Oh, Tina, hi.
Rush Limbaugh.
Tina, welcome to the Rush Limbaugh program.
Megyn Kelly even did a fundraiser for them early on. And before long, they were making regular appearances on Fox News.
Tiffany Justice is here, co-founder of Moms for Liberty.
Tiffany, thank you for coming on.
Tiffany, it's great to have you on.
In just a few months, Moms for Liberty went from a few chapters in Florida to a major player in public education. Its members started showing up to school board meetings, harassing and threatening school board and school officials, accusing them of trying to indoctrinate children. And mainstream outlets started to take notice.
They're called Moms for Liberty.
Moms for Liberty.
A group called Moms for Liberty. More on who they are.
Now that it's got media's attention, what does Moms for Liberty actually believe? The conference I crashed began with Tiffany Justice. I still cannot believe that that is her real name.
So you may have heard some nasty things said about Moms for Liberty recently on social media. Horrifically ugly allegations. And the media that elevated them had every reason to know that they were untrue.
Her speech was a response to the Southern Poverty Law Center that had recently designated the group as an extremist group that, among other things, repeated the gays are groomers myth. But that
Oh, that's something that for a little while you thought people were going to start getting in trouble for. For example, James Lindsay repeatedly used to say that to everything and anything. He actually said that to breakfast cereals. True story, super silly. I actually got something off my bucket list yesterday for the first time ever. The writer and author of Father Ted, the It Crowd, and I'm a big fan of the It Crowd too. It's pretty wild. Decided to respond to me pointing out about the cast review. I said, you should take the cast review as seriously as it took itself, because they're using AI-generated images of gender non-conforming children rather than, speaking to and or using studies that actually spoke to trans people. But yeah, so kind of just a massive clown shoes operation that it was. But I got the OK Groomer from Graham Linehan, and I was like, well, I can finally add that to the bucket list, as well as ratioing Graham into the sun, as well as making a meme to respond to this that's already being recycled by other people. This is the actual meme I made. This is me, but that's fine. The internet, it moves fast, and there's just like so many ways to make fun of Graham Linehan. You just gotta pick and choose.
That designation was not enough to stop nearly every GOP presidential candidate from showing up and kissing the ring.
When they mentioned that this was a terrorist organization, I said, well, then count me as a Mom for Liberty.
My favorite hate group.
I think you have that backwards. I think you meant to say, like, if Moms for Liberty are terrorists, then I'm a terrorist, or like I declare jihad or something like that. That is probably the way in which the order should have been made, but she couldn't say that, obviously, because of the connotations. So it was just like, well, then I'm a Mom for Liberty too.
In history.
Moms for Liberty is no hate group. You are joyful warriors. You are fierce, fierce patriots.
The candidates gave...
Next time, ask him to define a chair. Yeah, that's true, actually. I do remember that hilarious tweet where he's basically trying to explain how, there are certain words in which we know unequivocally what a chair is. A chair is, and then he defines it, and then immediately someone posts, like, a cow, which by, like, his definition, it falls under.
Boilerplate speeches, and sat down with the Moms for Liberty.
He said something silly, like, a chair has 4 legs and is used for this, but doesn't have to be used for sitting on. And then immediately someone's, like, a picture of a cow.
Co-founders for long.
It was a horse, yeah.
But once the campaign stops were done, that's when the revealing shit happened. First up was Jamie Mitchell, founder of Gays Against Groomers, a group that compares LGBT people to pedophiles.
I wanted to share a video that our Gays Against
Andrians, thank you very much for the tier 1. Appreciate you. And thanks again to Faye Molly. Sorry I missed that. Am I supposed to be scared of everything since I'm a parent? Yes. You have to be frightened of every single thing that happens always. They're all potential
team
threats.
put together for Pride Month, which thankfully is now over.
Mitchell is about as extreme as it gets. She is a hardcore conspiracy theorist. She peddles QAnon nonsense, vocal spokesperson for Stop the Steal, and she spends her free time claiming that random celebrities are pedophiles. Seriously, Meryl Streep. Last December, Moms for Liberty and Gays Against Groomers worked together to put on a rally to...
I'm sorry, what's her connection with Meryl Streep? That Meryl Streep was in a film that was about the cover-up of pedophilia in the Catholic Church? Is that it? It's like, why would you be in that movie?
To protect children. And Moms for Liberty has repeatedly used the grooming talking point to try to fire up their supporters.
We will not make peace with an ideology that seeks to sexualize, indoctrinate, and amputate the healthy body parts of children.
Which is ironic, because, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, why does that keep happening, by the way? It's really odd. The very people who say that they want to hunt the PDF files turn out to always be associated and or are PDF files themselves. It's bizarre.
We were then graced
almost
by
like
Dennis
projection.
Prager,
God bless you. Thank you so much.
a conservative pundit who is the founder of PragerU. He started his speech with a truly haunting joke about his sex life.
A young woman looks at me and she goes, get, using the F word, get effed. And I looked at her and I said, I do.
Wait, what?
I threw up.
Prager's speech was
Prager was talking about how someone told him to go fuck himself, and then he's like, I already do that. I engage in that activity.
otherwise pretty standard. He went on his anti-trans tirade.
If he says he's a woman and shows his penis to girls, they are arrested if they object.
It's a total fabrication.
When has that happened ever? Ever. Every single fucking complaint that the right has, it's a made-up scenario. It's this like nightmare doom scenario. You know why so many of them right now are using AI art to be able to show scenarios that don't actually exist? It's like, yeah, there's like, you know, the white girl in a bus surrounded by black people and she looks really scared and she's crying and all of them are just like this, like about to pounce on her or something, and they're like, what if this was your daughter? And you're like, so I guess like if this was a real problem, you wouldn't have to use the AI art to try and, you know, do this racist ass fear-mongering here. You're just trying to have to put that out there so people are like, whoa, that's scary when I see it visually made by AI art and all the hands are like that.
He complained about the left being ungrateful.
The great trait of the left is they're all ingrates.
Why are we yelling?
But then he got a little biblical, arguing that this fight over trans equality is actually part of a larger religious civil war.
I said we were in a civil war 20 years ago. We are. The roots are the Bible versus the left. God made order out of chaos. The left is making chaos out of order.
Which brings us to James Lindsay.
James, good old James. We've missed you, James.
Good morning.
I just can't wait to hear about all his fucking interpretations of cultural Marxism and newspeak. It's going to be fascinating.
War moms.
Lindsay is a celebrity on the far right. He plays the part of an expert on wokeness.
Like queer, feminist, something or another. Like seriously, it's all on their about page on the Black Lives Matter website.
It just goes without. I can't look at this guy and not think the man has like resting did I poop myself face. And he's always making that look. It's just always like.
Also peddles the myth.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I promise you.
That gay people are groomers. Lindsay also likes to argue that Marxist concepts like critical race theory are paving the way for a white genocide. And you might ask yourself, what credentials does this guy have? A PhD in math.
Pride looks an awful lot like shame.
Like any rational person, he spent his speech
talking about Mao Zedong. What is happening in America and throughout the West right now is the Western Cultural Revolution. And he unleashed the People's Liberation Army on the Red Guard, rounded them up, killed a bunch of them, sent them off to the countryside to die in starvation and misery. And that's where our woke countrymen are going to if they succeed.
I want to know who let you on stage.
And if you're feeling soul crushed by this, I need you to imagine how I felt. I was there for days. And they made it extra unbearable by making sure that there were no vegetarian options for any of like the main courses. I survived.
Ooh, well, maybe that's how they suss out the SJWs, right? You're like, oh, do you have any vegan options? Like, take off her wig. It's like, oh, blue hair, no. Quickly, save me, Antifa.
On bread and spite.
Ingrates.
The rest of the speeches were even more deranged. There was Chrisanne Hall, a far-right commentator with ties to anti-government groups like the Oath Keeper militia.
Satan hates women because women bring forth the image of God.
Period.
Hall is another wild character. She's a Stop the Steal January 6th conspiracy theorist who compared January 6th police to Nazi soldiers. Like Moms for Liberty, she also quoted Hitler in a recent social media post.
They keep doing that. It's weird, right? Why do that unless you think the man has any worth or value at all? Otherwise, fuck him, you know? Extremist.
It's weird that it happened twice, right?
Prior to speaking at Moms for Liberty, Paul gave an anti-government presentation to the white nationalist and pro-Confederate group, the League of the South. So, you know, we just have a lineup of winners here. And then there's this 4-person panel featuring this guy, Ryan Walters, who is Oklahoma's state superintendent of public instruction.
These are folks that want to destroy our society. They want to destroy your family, and they want to destroy America as we know it. Period.
Walters has been a vocal ally for Moms for Liberty, and he really doubled down on that at the conference.
God bless you, Moms for Liberty. You know who else was called a terrorist group? Those founding fathers.
Great use of the Dune music. I like it.
That's an endorsement Moms for Liberty probably wishes it never got.
A TikTok video accusing a Tulsa area librarian of spreading woke ideology is what seemed to set off a string of bomb threats. Ryan Walters faced criticism for retweeting that video.
And he's the subject of multiple lawsuits from former employees, including one who is suing him for defamation after he falsely claimed they were showing pornography in class.
He's been named in 7 lawsuits so far this year.
That being said, all of the clips I've shown you so far are from sessions Moms for Liberty published after the conference. But I noticed there are a couple of speeches they didn't publish. These speeches took place after a very boozy happy hour where the speakers at the conference had loosened up a bit.
Nice.
At one, a Texas Moms for Liberty chairman began her speech by saying this.
Are there any joyful terrorists in this audience?
Oh yeah, you can definitely notice the Pinot Gris. It has started to take effect.
But I think we need to step it up to joyful terrorists.
It's a hell of a comment for an organization that has repeatedly harassed and threatened school boards across the country. But the other speech they didn't publish was even more damning. Near the end of the conference, co-founder Tiffany Justice came on stage to talk about the criticism the organization faced after a chapter quoted Adolf Hitler in a newsletter. But this time she struck a very different tone.
One of our moms in a newsletter quotes Hitler. Woo! I stand with that mom.
Oh, funny that. I mean, I didn't know it was going to come full circle, but that's what I've been talking about this the whole time. It's kind of fucked up that you would put quotes of Hitler in the newsletter, and then unless you thought, again, you had any value whatsoever for society to be able to kind of deify him like that. But you stand with the mom, eh? Just out and proud. Interesting. Great job on going undercover to be able to record this. Otherwise, I don't think anyone would have ever heard this part. But yeah, massive yikes, obviously. Yeah, good old Pinot Gris. Helps us get all the dirty secrets.
So what should we make of this batshit conference? Besides all of the, groomer and Hitler stuff, it became very clear that Moms for Liberty cares a lot about how they're covered by the media.
We got to remember who's watching. Always remember who's watching.
During his talk, James Lindsay encouraged members to act friendly and nice in front of reporters.
It's so important that we keep this joyful warrior attitude. It takes exactly one of you deciding to do something stupid they catch on camera, and then they have their proof. Hi, New York Times, fake news. We got your number.
I call this the gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss strategy. Behind closed doors, Moms for Liberty will compare queer people to pedophiles and groomers, will call for a civil war, but in front of reporters, they'll lie and act nice.
Never bet against a mom. I mean, nobody's going to defend anything like a mom is going to defend their child.
But what about a mom defending another mom who, again, published your official newsletter with quotes of Hitler on it? You want to defend her.
And unfortunately for all of us, it's working. In April, CBS hosted a segment on Moms for Liberty's book banning, where they described the organization as a group of concerned parents.
Their aim? To play hardball with a smile.
The segment also gave Tiffany and Tina a large platform to just straight up lie about what kind of books they're trying to ban.
Books that don't have pornography in them. Let's start there. Let's just put the bar really, really low.
That kind of coverage is exactly what Moms for Liberty is looking for. After their last summit, Moms for Liberty bragged about earning $10 million in free advertising thanks to the media's coverage of their summit. And the group even touts positive coverage from mainstream media on their webpage. All this positive positive media coverage comes at a cost. Moms for Liberty chapters have strategically harassed and threatened schools across the country. They have partnered with individuals and organizations who have prompted bomb threats at hospitals and in schools, and now certain chapters are even teaching their members how to use guns. Moms for Liberty is so deeply embedded in GOP politics and will likely stay that way through the next election cycle, but pretending that they're just a bunch of concerned mama bears isn't journalism. It's falling for an obvious trap, a bear trap.
Momkampf. Good job. That's Ma's art, everyone.
A mama bear trap. Yeah, I don't really know. At least I didn't quote Hitler.
That's true. You get points for that. Really good job. This is new on the Media Matters official channel. People were asking where you could find it. Produced, I believe, by Carlos. And yeah, Media Matters, their official YouTube channel, is making, you could say, documentary-style videos, educational videos.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multi Mondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Pappy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood, as well as every other person you see on the screen right now. This show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/the Serfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, you know, help us exist.